WWE Fastlane. It's done. It's over. I was a little late to the party, but got to watch it. Give my little couple cents here. You know, my little 2% of that milk about all these things. Once again, this is one of those pay-per-views where like I said, the lead up or the build was like, okay, you know, it was fine. The car was like, it's okay. And then when you watched it, you're like, oh, I had a really good time. It was very quickly, and there was nothing really disappointing or nothing bad. Everything was pretty good. So, into that, um, I was like, what? I was like trying to figure out the first match, the tag team match. Okay, so Judgment Day, Jay Uso, and Cody Rhodes. Now, I picked for the Judgment Day to retain. Obviously, they didn't. Cody Rhodes and Jay got it, but I didn't also. But I also sort of seen why they would also do Cody and Jay. Like it wasn't something where it's like, oh man, they gave it to them or they won. You sort of see why. I was like, I understood it. It caused more dissension within Judgment Day, especially the way they lost with JD and Madonna really causing them the lose here. I did like the interaction between Rhea and Jay. Like since Jay been talking about Rhea, she became like a whole distraction, just playing like like yeah, you like what you see, uh, playing up to Jay and whatnot. But JD tried to hit Cody with the briefcase, ended up hitting Damian Priest, and after that, they took Damian Priest out. Then they just tag teamed on Finn and pretty much took him out and won. And I was like, you can see the storyline from here. Like I said, this gives them both something to do. I was like, Cody had nothing to do in like about I want to say about 2 months. It feels like Jay just really been losing since he sort of done became main event Jay Uso. Uh, but the tag team titles give them both something to do on the show. Um, I like so that way Cody doesn't just fall in the background. He get to stay on TV. Jay doesn't look like a loser, even though he's trying to turn around. Even though I think that storyline could work, where he's losing, but it's because of a good reason, because he's trying to fight all these battles from his past and stuff. But I give him the title. I was like, we'll see how long that lasts. Cause I can also understand that the run for Judgment Day having them was sort of getting toward the end, because there was real. I mean, because they're going to keep fighting KO, Sammy, Jimmy, and Cody. You sort of going to have to drop it in between, basically to see what their team does. If they get them back. Damien, does he go for the title? Give him something else new to do. And Jay and Cody, I think they'll actually travel amongst brands, and that can sort of create, oh look, Jay back on SmackDown, with her brother and stuff like that. Oh, Cody's back on SmackDown, where it's like, oh, Roman's coming up, that kind of thing. So I was like, I was like, fine, understood that. Then we had Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, or as I like to call them, the Street, Almighty, or the Almighty Streets. Hmm. I was like, we're still workshopping. I'll get the LWO, uh, basically Escobar, Rey Mysterio, and thank you, and special guest. I was like, people already sort of hinted at who the special guest was going to be. It was Carlito. He showed up basically halfway through the match and then just didn't do anything at that point. Yeah, no, he really just came in, did a couple drop kicks, hit the little backbreaker, and that's it. They changed the theme. It's not spin in the face of people who aren't cool. Sound like I was like, I couldn't really fully hear, but it sounded almost like I'm cool or something like that. And I was like, man, I was like, I guess we can't spin on people before. Way to kink shame. Uh, yeah, I before I knew that Carlito might come in, I was gonna say the Street Profits need a win because they're a new faction. They sort of been losing already, so they needed some solid victory. And I was like, LWO ain't really worth anything. They're really like they're not doing anything. They got the U.S. title, nothing. They're not doing anything. But with Carlito coming in, I'm like, even if he would have came in like on time or at the beginning, that would have changed my factor of being like, no, they're gonna win. He's a surprise appearance. I don't know if he's gonna stay or be with the group, but I could see why they wasn't gonna lose that one once he appeared. And plus, I guess it can also be more decision with the Street Profit of being like, oh, you got to really earn yourself if you want to be top dog, and how I am with the championship, all this other stuff. So, and maybe they'll do something with the U.S. title, and maybe Bobby wins it back off Ray just to, give some more dominance to them or something like that. Maybe they can do something down the road once they get established. But anyway, I was like, once again, understand the victory, understand what happened here, no problem. Then we got Io, Charlotte, and Asuka for triple threat for the women's championship. This is a match that had like a slow build to it, which I mean it sort of happened with triple threats anyway because you have to fill it out, you have to sort of give space and time. They threw it right out. I was like they did it right away of getting rid of one member. That was Charlotte Flair. Once she got missed, she was out. They normally do this in triple threat, with just Asuka and Io, and so they got a good rapport. So they just go back and forth. Then Charlotte goes in Ultra Instinct mode and just start wailing and doing her thing of being supernatural. Then they traded a couple moonsaults. I was like, everybody sort of getting knocked out. Io getting knocked out to the outside. Bayley tries to help. She gets back knocked out. And at that point, it's like, is Bayley going to cost her the match? Asuka and Charlotte at this point is like, who's going to basically take this victory? Of course, we all feel like Charlotte might. Then Asuka coming in. It's like, oh, they're not a bad consolation prize. And then they're going back and forth. But Bayley was able to distract the ref for Io to get a moonsault on a figure 8 from Charlotte and basically take the victory. And she retained, which that was the right plan. I was like, I could see maybe, I was like, Jade Cargill showed up on the thing, she just shook Triple H's hand. That was it. Like I said, I doubt it. I don't know when she's going to appear. I don't think it's anytime soon. But I was like, I would see them trying to put her with Io and then see how that goes. Also, there's like the rumor of Kairi Sane coming back, so they could probably do something there as well too. But that's all something in the future. For right now, Io wins, and I was like, that's the right choice in this situation. Then we got the Bloodline with Solo and Jimmy, and we got LA Knight, John Cena. Pat McAfee makes an appearance, gives him the whole, does the whole thing and talks great about him, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I was like, pretty much Jimmy getting his ass beat, setting it all up, making John Cena look real good, I guess, or making him look like a complete dud. Solo comes in and basically just start wrecking John Cena, and John Cena really putting him over. I will say that although this John Cena has been enjoyable, he's also been very wacky as hell. I was like, yo, I'm gonna just show out and I'm gonna get my acting on, because a lot of times I was like, not that he's not selling, but it was like a lot of times that he was just like overdoing some stuff. But it's alright. It's funny, John Cena. I was like, you got to see some of the stuff he do. I can't see everything, but I was like, there was pretty much the Bloodlines like whole thing, and then eventually John Cena gets the hot tag to LA Knight, and then he just basically just started running over them. There was really no time that once LA got in, it was pretty much over and done with. He just doing all his moves, let Cena do a couple of his moves, and pretty much ended. And Jimmy taking the full blunt of everything and losing. Yeah, I was like, I got to do some more thinking about Jimmy, but I have an idea maybe what they're trying to do. I was like, but it also, does he have direction? Either way, it was just Solo and Heyman at the very end, because Jimmy got his ass beat, do the whole call Roman type of thing. But LA Knight gets the victory because it's really for LA Knight, and then he puts over John Cena, so makes it look a certain type of way. So take the victory here. Also, once again, knew how this was going to go. Hey, no complaints here. Then we got to the last man standing with Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. Last man standing matches always have a build up, of course. That's how it does. Start a regular match and they add weapons and they start doing some brutal stuff or brutalist stuff. Um, yeah, they were pretty much Shinsuke the whole time. Of course, Seth gets his little run in where he just like powers up. He's getting a beating, but he times his offense. His counter attacks in, but pretty much Shinsuke is giving him the work. Uh, like throwing him on the chairs, hitting him with the kendo and the trash can. Thought it was really cool for him to get the nunchucks and start beating them and wailing on him. He over here going really like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style on him. Some old school kung fu esque. And he was over here working the things too. So I was like, I want to know if he actually knew what he would like. Not well, of course he knew what he was doing. But I wonder if that's a thing that he knows how to do really well, or he was just over here just like training like one day and just like getting it all ready, something like that. You never know. I was like professional athlete, but then I was like, Seth was able to trick him to go to the table, but then Shinsuke got him basically through a table with a meteor. They got both on the ladder. I was like, this Shinsuke impersonated Oscar and hit the miss. I know everybody sort of does like the miss and not just Oscars, but hey. And pushes Seth from the ladder to the announcer table. And nope, that didn't do anything. So then they go into the crowd. And by the way, I was like, Seth had been probably dropped or hit on his back. I was like, look, I mean, I'm exaggerating, 57 times, but a good amount. And like I said, like Shinsuke he'd been doing the damage and getting dealt the damage. So then they go out in the crowd. I was like, they go over here brawling there, and pretty much the match, it was like he does a pedigree on the I guess I was like a crate up at the top. Also he gets, and then he just gets him a Falcon's arrow, launch him down to the ground, and ref is counting 7. Shinsuke like gets halfway up, falls, and it's like 8, 9, and then Seth gets up, sort of leans onto the chair, but he's up enough, and it's 10, and that's the end of the match. And it really just felt really lackluster to me. Like, I was like, I mean, I'm disappointed that Shinsuke didn't win, and I feel like I said, I was like, there's some people that I was like, they only got a certain amount of windows, and to me, Shinsuke, that to me, I get you can always sort of try to build him up later on, but I feel like because he's had championships, he's had championship, a championship run with him, and they're not memorable. I was like, he's really only been in the title picture like 3 times, Jinder, AJ, and this. I was like, I don't think there's another one to where it's like this sort of should have been the one where he won. Also, too, the whole build up with all that, like the whole how Shinsuke been acting, how he was attacking other people just to attack Seth. He was over here playing with Seth, beating the hell out of Seth back, building up the whole back and destroying him, and being like, you can't, do all this. What you gonna do? How you gonna build that? It to end on like that after Shinsuke been doing all the other stuff to him, and so like for not only just Shinsuke to lose, and it's like, all right, that's done. He also lost to me like in a way that wasn't creative, and also didn't look like Shinsuke got brutalized either. The way Seth got brutalized, and then at the end, Seth really didn't sell anything with the back either. It didn't look like he had to like Shinsuke is the one that had to like crawl out. And I get like you lose in that you crawl out like like woe is me. But Seth didn't. He just clowned on thing, was cheering with the crowd. I was like he wasn't holding his back or nothing like that. I that really just sort of just like you didn't sell any of that last part. Like I was like, I'm not saying that can't be victorious and stuff, but he didn't. There was no selling it. The way the match ended, it just seemed like. And I'm like, I mean, not gonna lie, I sort of get where it might go. Where I'm like, obviously, I feel like maybe the next person is either Damien because they teased it. I was like, and then I know we got the disgruntled star Drew, and they've been teasing him with him not having a championship while people could see it, and he doing his whole sort of heel thing to be the next adversary. But at that point, it's like, well, Seth has to lose, right? There's no way. I don't know. I don't know. It's sort of, I was like, good thing everybody really loves Seth because how Seth has been done in the past, you might think that it might be one of those things where people turn on him. But hey, we'll see how it goes. I was like, they're able to always make something out of nothing, but this was like the first time. I mean, this to me is like, even with some of the championship, like Roman's stuff, has been impacted because of his storyline, the way he is. This is really like the first one that Seth's had like an actual impactful, other than like Finn's. Finn's was impactful because of the storyline that seemed like it should have had a stipulation but didn't. But this one sort of did, and it had a storyline, and you just like, nah, you overcome it pretty easy. Whatever. Anyway, that's my recap of Fastlane. A little bit belated, but hey, whatever. If you like this, or what was your viewpoint? Maybe you something different than me. Let me know. But if you didn't like the video, hey, maybe next time. But until then, I'm out.